What might it feel like to live as a more ecological version of ourselves? How do we feel into that possibility when so much of the modern world continually pulls us further away? There's a practice I learned from Joanna Macy and the network called the Work That Reconnects. In it, participants take guided journeys, imaginal time travel, to reconnect with ancestors and with possible futures. And in doing so, they awaken feelings of courage, longing, and direction. We can do something similar to reconnect with the ecological self. This practice is meant to activate powers of emotion and the subconscious. It is meant to be a bit dreamlike, mythic, catalytic, and it can feel just a bit idealistic, but that's okay. It purposefully bypasses the rational mind to imagine without limitation. It's not meant to be a shared future vision, which requires realism, pragmatism, and is formed with others, with people in our place. This is meant to be more personal, remembering who we are, who we're evolved to be, so that when we do circle back to engage in shared regenerative future visioning, we're already activating what that's like for us individually. So again, what might it be like to live as an ecological self? A person whose identity is rooted in the land, in community, and with the living system we call home. And thankfully, we have really strong imaginations, because in a world shaped so much by separation, our ecological selves can feel really far off. Infrastructure has replaced intimacy. Technology has replaced the tactile. Things like screens and sprawl have replaced our stories of place. Access to wild places is too often inaccessible. But the more we can envision it, the more we can practice it or act it out. The more we practice, the more we believe it. And the more we believe it, the more it becomes part of our life. And our visions become more informed, more colorful, more based on experience. And then we practice with ever more belief and growing identity. That is a spiral of becoming. So let's practice entering that spiral together. This will be a glimpse from one imagination to another, a morning in the life of you as your ecological self. So let's start your day anew. You wake without an alarm. Birdsong fills the room. And you know enough bird language to tell the sun is about to crest the horizon. Body feels rested, and there's a sense of gratitude for being in sync with the day. From the open windows, sound drifts in. Neighbors are starting their mornings. Children already playing, something already cooking. And you feel connected to the world out there, even before stepping into it. Time for the morning's local news. Stories from the neighborhood. All people you know. Progress is shared on a new mural created by the youth. They're keeping the details a surprise for an unveiling at an upcoming event. But word has it, it's some sort of artful mapping of where the water flows. It's hard to keep a secret like that around here. A milestone in the creek restoration is announced. You are playing a vital part and your name is mentioned. The news is made by local artists and storytellers. The unique creative genius of each and every one of them is well known. Something inspiring always shines through. Their stories of place awaken connection and belonging each and every day. This news doesn't fragment, it inspires. It brings everyone closer to each other and to place. You step outside and run your hands along the earthen exterior of your home. Something about the rough adobe is energizing and grounding. Down the street, a young neighbor draws animals in sidewalk chalk. Each colorful animal also calls this place home. The child clearly has talent and everyone looks forward to seeing that talent mature. Not far down the road is the local bulletin, nestled in a dense grove of trees. In it are requests for help, and you see a friend not recently seen. They need help with something you just so happen to be particularly skilled at. You put your name down, you got it covered. On the walk toward town, neighbors pass by. You notice them, they notice you. Then someone sits alone on a bench and they don't look up. There's a pause, a moment of hesitation. But you know the right thing to do. You lay your hand on their shoulder. I'll be home around lunch if you could use some company. A glance is exchanged that says, I see you and I'll see you later. There's a shared understanding around here. Lifting each other up is how the whole system stays healthy. Tending to the hearts and minds of each other is ecological. Farther along the way, a voice calls out. A neighbor is smiling. This place sure is lucky to have you, they say, referencing the story of the creek mentioned on the news. You feel warmth, recognition, alive. A particular feeling, Placefullness. Feeling connected to where you're meant to be. In town, a few friends are moving a table. There's no question but to help. They toss you a warm pastry as thanks. Then before leaving town, the window at the community center catches the eye. Drawings from last week's school project are on display. One shows a group of students and how they made some aged cheese. You know it will be at least a few months before cheese lovers dig into the first batch. Once down at the creek, a pause. The water is clear. Recently hatched fish dart through the current, then hide beneath a fallen tree. From up the path, there's laughter. A few teammates on the creek restoration appear and they're smiling big. Maybe from compliments they received from the story of the creek restoration shared on the morning news. There's a slap on the water upstream. It sounded like beaver tail. They're also helping with the creek restoration. Gratitude wells up for their tireless hard work building dams, spreading water, and creating so much rich habitat, shelter, abundance. You take the last bite of the pastry as you appreciate just how many hands and tails have gone into making these waters flourish. So how did that make you feel? Maybe you felt far away still. Or maybe it awakened something inside you that felt right at home. So we just entered that spiral of becoming. We took the first step, we imagined. Now it's time to act, to practice. And all this is really helped by a supportive community, no doubt about it. But all you really need to get going is an open heart, maybe a bit of courage, and a place to stand. And for the participatory prompt, what would it feel like to live as your ecological self? Describe one moment from that life that you can imagine now, that you can step into today.